Welcome to the Transform Sales Podcast, where forward-thinking business leaders come to share their experiences and ideas, learn from each other, and amplify their results together.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Transform Sales Podcast. In today's episode, I am with Sam Dunning, founder of Breaking B2B. Sam, how you doing today?
Hey, Eddie. Thanks for having me on, man. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Great to have you on the show. And today we're going to be talking about B2B SEO for revenue, not vanity. Sam, tell us a little bit about this title. Why revenue and not vanity? What are most companies doing wrong that they should be doing right once they meet you?
Yeah. Good question to kick off. So, as you probably know, if you're a revenue leader, a founder, a marketing leader at a B2B tech, SaaS, or service company, you probably want most of your marketing efforts to drive sales pipeline as quick as possible, whether that is signups, demos, or booked calls for your sales team. That's most likely the conversion point that you care about, because that's the conversion point that's actually going to lead to potential revenue. Now, so many companies or internal teams or marketers unfortunately get SEO a little bit wrong, especially when it comes to B2B and SaaS, as they focus on vanity metrics. And it's not always their fault. It's sometimes because marketers are overworked. It's sometimes because agencies are trying to push vanity metrics. So they focus on things like traffic at all costs, rankings at all costs. But as a result, that quite often means that they're going for what we call top funnel or informational keywords. So think of things like what is a KPI or what is a CRM or how to build a website, like these really basic searches that might even be students researching things that if someone's searching that, at best, they're going to land on your blog article if you manage to rank for the keyword, and then probably get the info they need and bounce off. And those kind of simple keywords now are being replaced a lot by AI overviews that rank now at the top of Google search results above the fold. So if you're focusing on those kind of real high traffic basic keywords, they're very, very rarely going to result in a lead or a potential sign up or a demo booked. So instead, we like to flip that on its head and do the exact opposite and work out what would your dream client go to Google and search for, not for fun because they're ready, but what would they search when they're ready to have a sales conversation? So are they searching directly for your software or your service? Or are they looking for a juicy and crisp specific problem that only you solve? Are they maybe having a struggling moment with maybe their internal way of getting a job done, i.e. maybe you have a CRM that replaces Google Sheets and they're searching to fix a specific issue within Google Sheets? Or are they comparing alternative solutions, like looking for alternatives for many vendors that you often come against in sales calls? If we can start ranking for those kind of money terms that usually have less traffic, but way higher buying intent behind them, that way we can build an SEO program that is going to likely drive revenue and pipeline.
That makes a lot of sense, Sam, because even thinking about what we used to do at CloudTask when we were an agency, there's a lot of, let's say, theory from HubSpot and multiple others that divide the funnel in, let's say, awareness, consideration, and decision. And a lot of companies are investing in ranking well and awareness so they can plant an early seed and hopefully they'll be top of mind when the buyer is ready and ripe to buy. And I see how this can be maybe a misinterpretation or some leftover lessons that were brought from the B2C world into the B2B world. In B2C, you have short sales cycles. If you're selling, I don't know, chocolate bars, someone Googling, hey, is chocolate good for me? And they read some stuff from that to go, or what is chocolate? How can chocolate affect my day and productivity? From that search, which is pretty much top of awareness, top of the funnel, you can go in B2C pretty quickly to a purchase. So that's fine there. But in B2B, where we have longer sales processes, sales cycles, 2, 3, 6 months, a year of the sales cycle, a committee of decision criteria, definitely ranking for awareness keywords. It could be a long strategy, but it's a long strategy. It won't hit the revenue machine, the ring register quickly. So I see what you're doing, ranking for high intent keywords that should indicate that someone's ready to buy. They don't need education. They just need to know what your product contains, if you're good for them, and then they're ready to receive a quote or hop on a meeting to learn more. Now, I want to go into my next question, which is, this seems great, right? But what were people doing before they found Breaking B2B when it came to ranking SEO for revenue and not vanity? What would you tell me were those alternatives that your customers today were trying before they met you?
I'll give you a common scenario that happens a lot in bootstrap companies or Series A or Series B or fairly early stage kind of B2B or SaaS companies.
Fantastic.
Quite often, these businesses, they're already investing. So they're probably getting a pipeline, maybe from things like the Founders Network. Maybe they're investing in paid media, or they're doing some outbound sales or something like
Mhm.
that. But it's probably got to a stage where maybe the marketing leader or the founder or the revenue leader has got to a stage where they're starting to feel a bit frustrated. They think every time I search for our offer, I search for our software type, I compare alternatives, or I search for a problem we fix, we keep seeing competitors above us. They're way above us in Google organic search results. They're stealing traffic, they're stealing mind share, and most importantly, they're stealing inbound leads or pipeline. So the marketing leader or the revenue leader or the founder goes to their marketing team, which is probably a small marketing team of 2 or 3, maybe less. And they say, look,
Mhm.
guys, we need to do some SEO. I'm tired of seeing competitors ahead of us. The marketing team will say, sure, we've already got 99 other jobs to do this week, but I'll try and do some SEO. And the marketer will go to it. They'll probably, because they're so strapped for time, they've got so many jobs to do for the week, they'll probably go to a tool like SEMrush, Hrefs, Ubersuggest, Google Keyword Planner, whatever they use. And they'll
Mhm.
probably do what we talked about earlier, look for a high traffic, top funnel, informational keyword, because they've got a little bit of SEO knowledge, but it's not the only thing they do because they have so many different things to focus on each week. So they might
Right.
find an information keyword like what is a KPI, how to build a CRM, what is a CRM, something like that. They might then copy and paste that keyword into a tool like ChatGPT and say, build me a blog article for this keyword to rank, get a massive article, make a couple tweaks, publish it on the website, and then get back to their other 99 jobs for the week. And
Right.
then a month might go by and they'll be doing other work as they do because they've got so much to do. And the marketing leader or the founder will go back to them and say, how did you get on with SEO? And the marketing leader will say, and the marketing person will say, great, I did what you do. I quote unquote did some SEO. I published an article. And then they might say, well, great, how many leads did it get us? And that's where it all falls flat because the marketer will say, well, you didn't ask me to do SEO for leads. You just said, quote unquote, do some SEO. I did some SEO. And that's the problem. There's no strategy behind it. It's just someone Googling a keyword, thinking that might drive some traffic, chucking an article on the website. It's written by AI or ChatGPT, doesn't even rank well, doesn't drive relevant traffic, or even let's pretend it did rank well, it's not really going to attract the right kind of leads with that buying intent behind it. So that's quite a common scenario we see for kind of really small, overworked marketing teams where they don't perhaps have the strategy or resource in house.
Awesome. Now that takes me to then the next one, which is what challenges were they running into? But you said it already. SEO, search engine optimization. It's almost like the acronym is missing another letter, which is optimizing for what? Search engine optimization for awareness. Cool. That's what a lot of people are doing. And that's where they are missing because in B2B, we want to optimize for revenue keywords. So, hey, if that CEO had said search engine optimization for lead generation, that would have given a completely different scope. And maybe they could have created something else, or maybe they would still be confused. But then that brings us to breaking B2B. So, now that we've spoken about kind of like what some teams may be doing before they meet you, and again, we're talking this episode specifically for startup companies. You have maybe received Series A, Series B maximum, just your funding round, your seed round, and you're exploring. You may have a small team in marketing, as you mentioned, 1 to 2 peeps doing some content creation, flyers, a little bit of everything, and 99 other problems, right? Well, this could be a solution for them to really focus and optimize SEO for revenue, not vanity. So, why don't you share the screen, Sam, and walk us through a couple of those main features about breaking B2B that your clients really like, your services, what is the content that you create, etc.
This is more to give you an idea of the mindset behind it. Now, like we talked about earlier, we want our SEO program ideally to drive inbounds as quick as 90 days from publishing our first page. One of the best ways to do that is to understand, and if you're watching, you can see that I've got a crazy spreadsheet here where I've an example pretended that we're a B2B SaaS selling proposal software. but you could change that to whatever you sell. It could be calendar software, it could be accounting software, it could be something else, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But we want to work out what is the main offer that we want to be selling. So in my example, it could be proposal tools, software, platforms, and what are all the ways that our dream clients refer to our offer? That's column one. Column two is what are the industries that we serve best? Who is our ICP? Who have we historically sold well to that one has the problem we solve? Two, appreciates the impact that that problem has on the business. Three, has no issue investing in our offer. So actually wants to get the job done and has cash to easily afford it. Third is what is their job to be done? What are their struggling moments? So in the proposal space, that could be how to create interactive proposals. Maybe they're talking about how to build a proposal in Word, and then we want to convince them that that's not the best way of doing it, or how to write quotes that convert. This is a good one. The next tab is what are the main competitors? The competitors that always come up in sales conversations almost to a frustrating amount of times. The ones that always compare you to. So in the proposal space, that could be like PandaDoc, Quilla, GetAccept, the usual suspects.
Right.
And then the next one is building out these search terms into what someone would actually type in on Google if they needed the offer. So offer plus industry, in this case, it could be proposal software for sales teams or proposal tools for HR teams or proposal software for sales teams, whatever. Another common one that works in SaaS is best terms. So folks search for things like best proposal tools, best proposal software, etc. And another really good one that can rank you super fast is doing competitor alternatives. So as you know, as you explained, Eddie, B2B, often longer sales cycles. Folks rarely go with the first brand they hear of. They often compare a short list of 3 or 4, maybe even 5 vendors, and they discuss that internally, over calls, in their Slack groups, wherever. So if you can start showing up for things like competitor alternative keywords, like in this case, PandaDoc alternatives or GetAccept alternatives, or versus-based keywords where someone's comparing 2 options, like GetAccept versus Quilla. It's a really surprisingly quick way to get your brand top of Google and start sharing your differentiators and why folks should consider you as opposed to your competitor. So the whole crux of this is what are the main offers we actually want to sell? What are the industries we serve best? Jobs to be done is more kind of top funnel SEO, which we could perhaps dive into later. What are the main competitors that come up on sales calls, and how can we build these into keywords that are actually have high sales intent behind them, what I like to call money keywords, that are likely to drive leads, signups, or demos. And once you've kind of build out an exhaustive list of this, and then once you've done it, you can run that through SEO tools like Ahrefs, SEMrush, etc. And that would convert into a bit of a content planner that we've got here. So this is for one of my clients in Breaking B2B. They do HR software and they do payroll software. So you'll see things here like we've split each one into funnel stage. You've got bottom of funnel, high sales intent, top of funnel, kind of lesser sales intent, but more informational based. So a high sales intent keyword could be competitor alternatives, so Gusto alternatives. It could be someone looking for payroll software and those kind of terms. And then again, we put next to it how much search volume it gets, rough word count, we need to rank it. And that's kind of early stage. So the first stage is kind of working out who your ICP is, who your ideal client profile is, what the main offers are, what folks compare you to, main problems you solve, and then matching that to what are relevant keywords that folks would search for when they have sales intent to basically invest in your offer. And then how can we map that to best in class content? So I like to use a strategy called blow out the water. How can we make a piece of content, whether that page is a landing page, an article, a comparison page, that is just 10 times better than whatever's organic position 1 on the internet right now? And that could be by leveraging insights from your sales teams, by talking about problems you solve that others don't. It could be weaving in an FAQ section, because so many FAQ sections on landing pages are generic, like what is X, what is Y, when we can actually handle things like, why are you so expensive? Why should I choose you over your competitor? What's your guarantee? What's your returns policy? All that kind of stuff that folks want to use, which is really good for sales enablement. And there's a bunch of other things that we'll do to make sure that this page positions your product as the painkiller and makes it easy for folks to believe that you are the right choice and take that demo, take that sign up, etc. And then we reinforce those pages with high quality, niche relevant backlinks, as some pages can rank without links, but the more competitive the keyword is, usually the more competitors that are trying to rank for it, you might need to earn solid backlinks. So that's another part of our strategy that will earn for you. in order to rank pages faster and get you more signups or leads as quick as possible.
That's incredible, Sam. There's a lot of things I want to unpack a little bit here because we're speaking about, again, companies that may have small teams, they're just growing up. They probably have not done a keyword analysis, or if they've done it, maybe a week one with Google Trends, not as in depth. And you mentioned a few important things. So, number one, is great for companies that should have already an idea they're marketing, they're selling, so they have an idea of who their ICP is. And that's the first thing. We need to know who we're selling and how we are impacting their day to day with this service, with this product, with this software, whatever it is that we're selling. Number two, you create your hypothesis of who can be the best users, what are the use cases, what are the competitors. And all of this is kind of like when an agency doing appointment setting is learning about one, the ACP, and two, creating the messaging. But then the second part starts, which is almost like a keyword analysis where you say, okay, based on all the money keywords, not just generic keywords that we want to see, which ones we can take quickly and rank well. No, it's not just about ranking well. It's about ranking well on the ones that can convert to cash, that can convert to opportunities. So once you do that analysis, then you start going into the content creation, right? Which is what you said. Hey, a lot of people just put something together with ChatGPT, but it's not in depth, it's not very intentional, it's not very reader friendly or centric even. And once you do that, you also go and explore all the web of backlinks and how to give more power and authority to the pieces, the content that you're creating, so that again, it gets exposed to the right people, it gets read by the right people. And if it has the right call to actions, that's where the conversion to a meeting, a form fill, a sale, a quote request can happen. Now, the next thing I want to ask you as we approach the end of this episode is talking again for these startups, recently funded, seed, Series A, Series B type of companies. What KPIs do you recommend they use to evaluate the success of this service, and what quantifiable outcomes should they expect? Maybe if you can put on a scenario or give us a success story around maybe the traffic that someone was getting before, what you did after, et cetera, et cetera. I believe that would paint a good picture for someone in the audience.
Yeah. So I think a lot of folks are used to hearing the common phrase. They'll go to an agency or a contractor and say, how long is SEO going to take to get results? And I think the common generic response is 6 to 12 months at least. It's just like a baseline that folks are used to hearing. And
yeah,
I actually like to say a lot less. So I usually say, if it's done right with the right strategy that we briefly talked about, you can see impact as quick as 90 days. And all of that is following what we just talked about. So working out what would a dream client quite literally search when they need the offer right here, right now, is comparing alternatives or has a specific crisp problem or job to be done. Then analyzing what's ranking, building best-in-class content, making sure it literally blows everything out of the water. But what we didn't talk about is if you can publish at speed. So if you can exhaust all those money keywords and topics and publish as quick as possible on the website. So this is where so many companies get set back, especially larger companies, which we're not talking about today. So as a startup, as a Series A, as a Series B, speed is your advantage. There's probably less loopholes that you need to jump through. There's probably less restraints on security in terms of legal sign-offs and that kind of stuff. So if you can publish
bureaucratic
exactly
and approval processes,
lots
right?
of execs kind of checking boxes, checking content, and it can take weeks and months. It can take literally 3 to 6 months for a page to go live, I've seen in enterprise organizations.
Yeah.
So if you're startup, Series A, Series B, similar size company, you can publish these pages at speed. You can start to see results way faster and start slowly outranking giant competitors in your niche, in your industry. So as an example, I worked with one of our clients we worked with recently called the B2B Playbook. We did this exact strategy. We outlined, in their case, they provided courses to B2B folks, like a B2B marketing entire course around marketing and demand gen, and they wanted to outrank HubSpot. So we did the exact process we outlined, and we got them ranking for demand generation course and demand gen course within 67 days. So by day 50, they were ranking top organic in their chosen regions. By day 67, they had 9 signups and revenue from that organic search campaign. So that was literally outlining this entire process, following that. So that's one case study, but there's a bunch of others. So In terms of KPIs, quite literally, there's a few leading indicators, which would be things like ranking for the target keyword organically, improved organic traffic, improved website session times, improved click-through rates from Google's organic listings, etc. Then the more lagging indicators would be things like booked call, demo request, sign up, whatever your conversion point is. So hopefully that's useful.
Yes, it is. It is. One of the things that you mentioned that I found particularly interesting is the publish on a cadence, something that, as we spoke about, enterprise companies, even if they're able to sort out the content quickly and because of the bureaucratic processes that they may have, they may not be able to publish everything all at once. They'll be able to say maybe, hey, the content's ready, but we'll only publish one article a week. Whereas a startup have no restraints. And if all 7 articles are ready to be published and they all can bring me money leads, let's say, right, bottom of the funnel, high conversion leads, then I'm not going to wait to publish one a week. I want all of them to be published today and use the rest of the time to, I don't know, reshare. Take snippets and put them somewhere else and backlink it into the main article so that they start getting traction. They start getting people behind them, readers. And again, how many people are going to be in a purchasing window at any given time? There's theory that says less than 1%. So the majority, you get a lot of traffic from awareness, but it's not conversion. So as you said, I like a part where you say, listen, maybe 60, 70 days we're set up, you start to get some deals. Why? Because it's not about a high volume of traffic. It's good to rank well, etc. But this is not a strategy to rank and get open the floodgates to traffic on your website. No, this will drive more traffic, yes, but the good type of traffic may not be a lot, but it should be the one that converts more likely and faster than if we were just doing awareness keywords. So I think that's very important. One last thing I want to ask you before we part ways on this episode today, which has been great, is around the support channels. When someone hires you, what would you say are the support channels that you allow or enable for them? Can they email you, chat with you? Do they get a dedicated manager? Is there someone that they can meet with if they have questions around the strategy, bounce ideas, come up with new blogs, etc.? Can they have access to you or someone in the team? How does that work? Walk us through the support channels available to your customers, please.
Yeah, exactly. So typically you'll either work with myself or a dedicated senior SEO on my team. And yeah, we're pretty flexible to client requests. So usually it's set up on Slack. So quite regular communication. So instead of the traditional one report per month, and that's all you hear from us, that's not really how we work. We're very much fond of share results as soon as we see them. So if when we take the money keyword, revenue driving SEO strategy, as soon as we start to see results, we'll be sending those through. So that could be in the form of Loom videos that we post to Slack as and when we see results, or if we communicate via email, much the same. So every few days, you'll be hearing from us in terms of when we're building out the initial strategy, when we're building out content for you to review, when we're making recommendations for your website, when we're building and earning links, when we're seeing ranking improvements, when we're seeing website improved session times, improved lead conversions, and all that good stuff. We'll be regularly sharing those wins, getting your approvals, getting your takes, and then looking to support. So it's more of a, I guess, partnership and showing signs of life, showing wins as and when they come.
That's incredible. So there you have it, people. If you are in the audience and you are a startup company, you've been recently funded, either a seed, Series A, maybe Series B, you have a small team or maybe nothing in place when it comes to SEO, definitely go ahead and visit the CloudTask marketplace. Take a look at the listings from Breaking B2B, and Sam Dunning will be there to assist you. There's multiple products that he can use to, for instance, diagnose your SEO, do an analysis of your keyword ranking, or if you have a solid strategy, then Sam can be the team that's going to help you create content consistently with your strategy and revamp it, recurate it, repolish it as you go. So, Sam, is there anything else you want to share with the audience before we stop the recording?
I think that's pretty much it, Eddie. If there's any questions, feel free to reach out on the CloudTask marketplace, and look forward to speaking to some of you folks soon.
Excellent, Sam. Appreciate your time. Should there be any mid-market or enterprise companies, there are some services that some can offer, but those would go into a different episode. Definitely go to the CloudTask marketplace. You will be able to find those listings there as well. Sam, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Hopefully we can take you or have you on a future episode for mid-market and enterprise companies. Sam, I'll see you on the next one, okay?
Catch you soon.